This is Gene Krebs.
Hi there. Oh. Whoop. Whoosh.
And we're high on Ohio.
I think it makes a difference when you have someone who makes a commitment to stay on a job and be held accountable. I think that I have had the good fortune of coming into this system with a tradition, especially on city council, of dealing with issues and looking at the future and understanding investment and understanding that we should be looking and building for the future rather than our own little political ambitions and our own little, tell me what I can do today to get elected, to tell people what they need to hear, and that'll get me elected again, and then I don't see anything past then, it's just the next election. And I don't think there's anything that's more important in our society than to know the truth about where we stand as it relates to taxation.
Okay.
And the truth is, if you measure it in the only way you can, because without trying to figure out tax rates, and some people, certain political party, hammer you on tax rates, but when corporations pay zero taxes, that's not exactly the effective real tax rate. People in my business make these wild statements. We all know we're overtaxed. Well, if I was on the radio and the TV telling people that they were way overpaid, let's turn it on a personal level. You're way overpaid. Well, wouldn't you say, no, I'm not compared to, the market out there. That's the way we always look at it. The relativity of pays, the relativity of car prices.
Yeah.
If you were Rip Van Winkle and you awoke from 30 years sleep and you looked at a car price, you would say, oh my God, that's how much I paid for my house 30 years ago. And you would be right.
Right.
But it's all relative. We are absolutely, and there's nobody out there, I don't care what right-wing Tea Party person you are, that could say that we aren't the most efficient and effective government on the face of the earth. But the most significant difference in today's world, I would say 25 years ago, but absolutely in the future, is the level of education that our young people attain. Compare an inner city teacher in Cleveland or Akron or Columbus, and you honestly can sit and tell me that you think the kindergarten teacher in Hudson or in Bexley is working as hard as the kindergarten teacher in Akron, then you haven't lived on this planet for a while.
And you've not been in those classrooms.
You haven't been in those classrooms. Johnny and Susie didn't pick their parents.
Right.
So if we look at this in another way and say, they didn't pick their parents, but if we don't do something as a society, in the late 1890s, we were one of the first communities to provide a free high school education.
Yeah.
Now, did it cost tax money? Yes, it did, both of those major leaps.
Yeah.
But it was adults sitting at the table and saying, what do our kids need for the future?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, it's mine, I'm not giving up anything, I don't care, I'm going to take care of me. The greed in this society, we're the wealthiest society in the face of this world that we live in, and here we are, people who look like me, instead of coughing up a little more so that we can bet on the future, we can plan for the future, we can prepare kids for the future. And you can argue with me, well, that's terrible. We never paid for college education in the past. Well, before 1847, we didn't pay to read and write. Before 1898 or whatever, we didn't pay for high school education. Because what we do is we have people that are dressed up and we go in and we preach to them. Johnny, Susie, you can be anything you want to be. And Johnny or Susie are looking at, and I won't use the words that they use at 14, but there's, are you kidding me? You're not talking to me. My dad was shot in a drug deal and my mom's on crack. Said to me, Mayor, you have to understand this is such a great idea. We have to kill it, help it kill it here, because every mayor in the country will want to do this. And I tell people, when you're lying in bed tonight, put the first part of that and the last part together and see what goes between. This is such a great idea. We have to kill it.
Yeah.
If I would do one thing, I would say, Governor, whoever you are, this is January 2015. Look at what it is that young people need to get a job in the future and match up those resources in the most efficient and effective way as you can to be able to carry that out. And if it's 2-year college degree, if it's 4-year, if it's a plumber's license, help those young people get that just as our forefathers did. And that I would define as leadership, and that will define you as a great governor.
For more about the Center for Community Solutions or their publications, please visit www.communitysolutions.com.